Honest J. Nowak. Oh yeah.
A pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome back to Flying with the Foam on HJN. And so for today, might I just say at this point that there are going to be a lot of things that will be coming together here, and also focus is kind of getting a little bit of whack. So I apologize if that's ever going to be an inconvenience for the moment. That mostly has to do with the kind of lighting around here. I'm just trying my best to see if I can pack in as much as I can for all these times that I'm going to be pre-recording this new material. Well, anyways, let's get this stuff done as quickly as I can. Number 654 in HJN. And what do I got to show for it? Well, for starters, here comes another example in the Doomland series itself. But this is in fact one that's come from a sub-series called the Impact Zone. And that series in particular has had lots to do with the Doomland series itself. But above all that, I will say this is an amazing blaster. Of course, you heard me talking about some other blasters out there, as impressively well put together as they are. The Desolator really does feel impressive. The feel of it is just astoundingly well put together. Ergonomics are top notch, and honestly, the many other aspects of it, including its motorized action, its usage of clear plastic on one side, which is a common trademark that has been adapted to Doomland's blaster specifically. But of course, that doesn't really mean that the clear blasters have pretty much gone out of whack. But anyways, this blaster really does do a lot of impressive stuff. Because first of all, the feel is just incredible, really. The way that I'm holding onto the foregrip right now, it does feel right. It pretty much does. And the usage of the actual grip right here, with all fingers in place, it certainly does feel like a perfect fit. Not necessarily the best way possible, that they could have done it just so I could be in the perfect tangent. So this way I could probably hold onto this thing for hours at a time. But this blaster really does in fact have an amazing feel to it compared to most. Even the stock is very darn thin, yet sturdy, which is an especially important key feature to have. As a matter of fact, thinness of this blaster is just incredible, really. It's so thin in most areas, especially towards the back. And that would also help to reduce the amount of weight on this thing, making this much more lighter to hold in one arm. For a blaster this size, that is just incredibly clever, the way that they were able to make this thing so slim, yet so lightweight, and very large in size. Of course, that has actually been tried before, and it hardly hasn't got much anywhere, but the Desolator really is the example of how to make a good Nerf blaster out there. And there are many other examples that showcase how Hasbro has done it again and again to make good blasters out there. This one really does in fact have some impressive tropes, like the clear parts, as I mentioned earlier. Also, its unique 10-dart banana clip, which is very similar to that of the Elite XD Demolisher. Except this one, of course, has its own little white part to it, just to let us know that this is in fact a Doomlands series magazine. But honestly though, clip insertion and release is very smooth. Because as a matter of fact, even with when just holding the blaster like normal, you don't really even need a hand to hold onto the clip to pull it out once you try to release it. Because it just falls down on its own. Like so. And that is in fact some pretty satisfying action right there when you get the feel for it. Of course, you can really quickly change between different clips and magazines, because this thing will certainly take any sort of magazine that you got on you. whether it be the drums or the bananas or just the regular long sticks that are clips from magazines. 6 dart, 12 dart, 18 dart, 25, 35, or even the gigantic 50 dart drum from the Elite Titan, which I just simply call the Colossatron. But that's a whole nother subject right there for another day, because this blaster also has a couple tactical rails on the top right here to pretty much show that you can also customize this thing to a lot of different extents. This doesn't really have a barrel adapter, even though it looks almost like you could slip one on. And because there's an integrated stock, of course they wouldn't allow you to do that either. But in terms of firing though, wow, I mean, the way that the trigger just pulls like that, it's just so smooth, I mean, and you could be pretty zippy with it as well. Because of how strong the spring is on the magazine itself, I mean, barely giving it little effort, and it really bounces back up pretty fast. So you could blaze through an entire magazine on the Desolator, 10 darts in quite a small period of time. Of course, I don't really have my own chronograph, nor my own timer to gauge how fast I could possibly blaze through this thing, and the possibilities of an FPS range, so of course that can't really be done. But in most cases, this is basically just my take on the Desolator. Just an amazing blaster for what it is. And there have been a lot of other examples where I have certainly had a lot of blasters that were just impressively well designed, how they turned out based on aesthetics, performance, and ease of usage whenever you want to pick up and use it. This is certainly one of those examples. One of the higher ranking examples of blasters that you can in fact just pick up and use because of its really, really thin design and because of how smooth clip insertion and release is. And it's very easy as well. The comfort and ergonomics that go with both the foregrip right here as well as the regular grip, and not to mention the stock panel, of course, that is just an astounding combo. And the usage of a couple tactical rails on this also heighten its enjoyability and ease of usage, as you can put whatever you feel like on there, whether it be a dart storage or a scope or a flashlight or a laser or something of the sorts that you might be interested in using with this. The Desolator is just impressively well done. Being that it's one of the Doomlands blasters, a series that's pretty much doomed, literally, that is really saying a lot. Saying a lot of positivity about it for the most part. But above all that, I'd certainly give it out as a personalized recommendation by myself to anyone out there who's willing to go all out on their next battle. So that's pretty much it for right now. But there really is quite a long way to go from here. Well over 20 reviews that I still have to tackle before I'm all done with this. So if you want to see more go down on my channel, then make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.